Right, Amneet, I will start off with the appeal to your audience. And firstly, the topic on gaming is going to be something that's instantly, well, generally quite appealing to the target audience set out in the brief. And to complement that at the beginning, I liked your use of cutaways of game footage, and I think the music as well supplemented that quite well. Yeah, that's what I've got for audience.
I think one of the things about appeal to audience is that it links really with USP as well, is that you did have quite a clear focus on what you wanted to talk about. It wasn't just games are evil or something like that. You linked it in with the health risk, but then you were also, fairly neutral on both sides. So you're saying I enjoy gaming, but then these are the dangers, but these are the positives, which I thought gave it quite a specific place within the market.
I think as well, in terms of appeal to your audience, you had a really kind of light-hearted mode of address, which definitely is going to appeal to that audience through the little sort of links and that, which held it together really nicely too. Also, in terms of appealing to like a full spectrum of British people, so different genders, different ethnicities, I think first off you had a range of people included, but as well as that, you could just make a documentary about games that would just be about boys. Oh, look at these games, aren't they? That would just be for boys. Whereas the stories that you picked, the people that you picked, actually, they might not have been from a variety of different backgrounds, but the way that the elements that you picked appeal to everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, the news story about the deep vein thrombosis was another thing that caught my attention as well. I thought that was quite a positive thing to have in there. Although you didn't go too much. Actually, you went back to the kind of more medical reasons with Mr. Priest, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought that was a nice hook to get us interested.
I think in terms of conventions, you made good use of lots of conventions. So we had the lots of kind of nice direct mode of address to the camera with a bit of humour, and you had the matchsticks and all the other sort of bits and bobs, and that worked really well, because otherwise it could be quite a serious, quite a miserable topic really, especially with the health aspect and the people, killing their own children. So you did actually make it a bit more light-hearted. The vox pops we thought were really nicely framed and created a nice pace in the editing with them being on the different sides of the screen. And it was nice not to just have loads of people sat in front of computers. So we had a bit of that and a bit of you playing the games, but we didn't have to watch too much gameplay, which really isn't very interesting unless you are playing the game yourself.
Also, your voiceovers and your pieces to camera, I thought you carried quite a lot of exposition in them as well, so there's quite a lot of value to the audience in terms of giving them information in those sections, which is typical of this type of text. Also, I thought your use of music was appropriate at the beginning. It wasn't obtrusive. We didn't see it running all the way through. It was used appropriately. So yeah, I thought in general that was good.
Yeah, I think you had a nice variety of interviews. There was one in particular that I would have liked to seen a bit more establish exactly who he was, the parent gamer, whether that was a professional, how exactly he fits into what it is you're talking about. You kind of pick it up gradually as the interview's going along, but maybe you could have established exactly what it was, who he was, and what you're trying to get out of him beforehand.
You made good use of technology. You tried to be creative with what you were doing. I might have been nice to see some more titles. Were there any titles really in that?
No, I think so.
Might have been useful really to do something interesting with the titles for when you're introducing people and things like that. But we thought everything was packaged together well. It flowed well. The editing was clean. The sound was clean on it as well. It wasn't, we didn't have too many issues with that. And that you integrated the archive footage well. It didn't feel like you just shoved it on, because you did actually talk over it and discuss it as well.
Again, going back to the pieces, the camera, I thought the camera language that you chose and the way that you set those bits up was really effective. So like you turning around or the camera being just below you. So that use of technology, where to position the camera and how to use it to add to the sort of humour that you were setting up, I thought that worked really well, and it showed a real awareness of how to do that. So that was good.
Yeah, like when you go to Mr. Priest's office, and we obviously have the establishing shot of him behind the computer, but before that you also had the shot that you've done from a low angle of you walking to the office, which just adds a bit of variety really, which is nice to see. Improvements. I think one of the improvements is that you've just made up statistics that don't make any sense. So you said 52% of boys play computer games and 20-something% of females play computer games. So I don't know what, like transvestites or something, are they making computer games separately, or what's happening there? So some of your statistics could have maybe been a bit more based in the real world of 100%.
I think in general, I think as well, in terms of some of your shots, especially in the interviews, the framing was not maybe what it could be. So when you were interviewing the parent gamer, your hands were like sort of this in the shot of him. Mr. Priest, kind of the interview, the camera went for a bit of a wander as well. So those kind of things, like if had it been consistent, because in some elements, as we said earlier, it was really good, and if it had been consistently good, that would have been really pleasing to see.
I think in general the sound was good, but there was a few occasions where it was a bit quiet, or you could clearly tell it was recorded in a different environment. So maybe be careful when you're filming next time as to what kind of sound you're going to get out of it and how sorting out the levels when you're editing.
Okay. Well done, Amneet. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Amneet.